characters at the top of your feed aren't showing you their true selves. They are operating digital personas, carefully constructed characters designed to capture attention and keep the focus on maximizing profit. For Samay Raina, the strategy was to play the villain. By leaning into a crude persona, he kept the expectations for his moral behavior so low that his audience could never be disappointed when he pushed a joke too far. It was a character designed for total freedom. But the influencer Beer Biceps spent a decade building the exact opposite image. He became the face of a clean, spiritual, and yoga-practicing intellectual, selling a brand of self-improvement and high-minded meditation. The system broke when Beer Biceps appeared on Samay's unscripted show. Away from his usual edited environment, he made a crude joke that was entirely out of character. In seconds, the spiritual guru persona vanished, replaced by something the audience didn't recognize. The resulting backlash wasn't triggered by the words alone. The audience reacted with the intensity of a betrayal because the creator had violated the specific rules of the character they had spent years supporting. On the internet, personas are rigid. If you deviate from your assigned role, the audience doesn't just stop watching, they move to dismantle the person behind the screen. Within 48 hours, the joke escaped its context. What started as a standard wave of social media hate quickly scaled until it was the #1 trend in the country. Mainstream news networks picked up the thread. They began dedicating entire segments to the clip, framing the comedians as a moral threat to the youth of India to secure their daily viewership targets. The momentum shifted to legal action. 3 FIRs were filed, including one by a chief minister. This self-sustaining cycle allows media and politicians to boost metrics, expanding a joke into a national emergency. While the media branded him a criminal, Samay's physical reality was first-class flights and luxury hotels. He was at the peak of his professional career, beginning a sold-out tour in America. But the numbers on his screen created a different reality. If the legal pressure forced him to return and cancel the tour, he faced an 8 crore rupee loss, a figure that would evaporate every rupee of his life savings in a single afternoon. The stress manifested as a physical collapse. Backstage in Seattle, Samay struggled with tremors and vertigo, terrified that the 1,000 people in the theater would see his panic and realize the person they paid to see was breaking down. He retreated into a fog of digital psychosis. He hid behind masks at poker tables, self-medicated with a bottle of melatonin just to close his eyes, and watched through his phone as the entire world seemed to be closing in on him. He was physically safe in a high-end hotel, but his brain was receiving constant digital signals that he was in a fight for his life. In the modern outrage cycle, the body remains in luxury, while the mind lives in a war zone. At the height of his panic, Samay called his father in the middle of the night, searching for an anchor to hold on to. His father's frame of reference was 1991. As a Kashmiri pundit, he had watched his house be struck by bullets and had been forced to abandon his homeland overnight to ensure his family's survival. To a man who had survived the total loss of his physical world, a controversy over an internet show felt like noise. He had lived through actual displacement. He wasn't going to be shaken by a trending hashtag. He told his son that the show only existed because of Samay, but Samay's existence was not tied to the show. One man was fighting for his virtual relevance, the other had fought for his actual life. When those two perspectives collided, the digital panic lost its power to inflict real damage. When Samay finally landed back in Mumbai, the expected arrest never happened. The media had already found a new target, and the news cycle had simply moved on to the next viral moment. He went to the police station and issued a calculated apology. He treated it as a survival move rather than a moral debate, understanding that the best way to handle an unfair fight is to simply step out of the ring. If fame can be revoked by a crowd in a single day, then internet personas are best used as tools to secure a bank account, rather than a place to invest a human identity. The final move is to leave the digital characters to fight amongst themselves, while reserving your actual energy for the real world, calling your family, visiting your friends, and keeping your heart away from the screen.